Hello and good evening, everyone. Welcome to another show of Bridging the Gap between Black men and Black women. I'm your host, Ramont Williams. Today, we have two lovely guests, and I'm going to allow them to introduce themselves.
Okay, so hello, my name is Sierra. I'm born and raised Las Vegas, Nevada. We just gonna really get on topics about mental health and like family relationships and stuff like that, and just speak more about things that are actually going on in the world, like when it comes down to your mental health and how a lot of things can change the way that you think about certain things.
Okay. And the mom.
Uh,
Hello.
It's, it's not often I get a mom and daughter on, so
why don't
I
you do?
feel okay.
You gotta introduce yourself.
Hello, this is Donette, long lifetime friend of Pat, Vermont, and it's my pleasure to be on this show. I really hope that we can generate people to understand what he's trying to do with this. Like he said, it's just entertainment. It's just encouragement from each other, um, using some of our own life situations to allow people to know that there are avenues out there. There are people out there you can talk to, people to help encourage you for whatever you're going through. So we're going to start here with this and, allow the aura to carry us where we're going to go with it.
Okay, today's topic is choices and consequences. And what I'd like to say this to all the people that's tuning in who may be watching this at a later time and date. We haven't been off the air. I had to kind of recoup and get this thing under better control. We had a lot of technical issues, so now that we're back up and running, um, we hope you will enjoy the show. Any of you that's encouraged to be a guest or be on the panel, please contact me, inbox me, and we'll get you on. Oftentimes, I allow the guests to pick their own topic. Tonight, I picked the topic. So um, let's get going. Choices and consequences. Okay. So everybody know what choices and consequences are. We've all made them, and we whether we like the consequences that go with the choices we made, they are there. Whether they're friendly, dire, it doesn't matter. So let's talk about this in reference to relationships, right? When we're talking about the choices that we make, okay, in relationships, I'm gonna speak at it from a man's perspective, and then I'll let you come back from a woman's perspective. Oftentimes, men um, select women for various reasons. Men are more visual than you women are. So we select women based on their physical anatomy, oftentimes. Okay. So what we do when we do this, we don't understand the consequences oftentimes that follow those choices that we make temporarily. Um, and what I mean by that is I've been an example of that. Okay. She always choosing the pretty girls with bright skin and long hair, and they're no different than any other woman. Actually, it's just a matter of preference. But because I was only looking at the superficial, the exterior, it caused me a great deal of discomfort and dissatisfaction in the long run because of the consequences that follow. And usually the ones, now I'm only talking about the women that I dated. So I'm not talking about any other woman out there. So uh, please don't take it personal. It never panned out to be the way that I thought it would be. So, what do you think about that? Both of you have children. Um, I don't know how many children you have. I don't know how many fathers may be involved.
I,
Um,
I don't have
you don't have
it.
children? Oh, okay, good. That's a surprise, but that's good.
I'm gonna
So,
wait.
huh?
I'm gonna wait. I'm mentally and financially ready to have my baby. Bring my baby into the world, and I'm already, depressed or having a bad day or something like that, and I end up taking my anger out on my child. So I'd rather just wait to have a baby instead of bringing my baby into the world, knowing that I'm not mentally ready right now.
let me ask you a question, and I'm glad that you made that point, right? So often in the Black community, because this show is based upon Black relationships and Black culture,
Okay.
women, and let me clarify this, right? I'm not on this show to put any Black woman down, to degrade any Black woman. I'm not. What I'm saying is not condescending by any means. But in our neighborhoods, okay,
Mm-hmm.
young Black women particularly, they engage with these young men, have unprotected sex, bring children into this world when they're not stable themselves.
Yep.
So we have this this generational thing that just keep perpetuating over and over, younger and younger and younger women having babies. So how do you feel about that? Seeing as though you're saving yourself until you're prepared for this rat race we call life.
I don't feel like, I feel like it's not good. I feel like it's like harmful to the child because most women will have a baby and then the father don't want to be with them, so they end up taking their anger out on the child instead of letting the father know, like, I want to be with you, or I want to have a family, I want my family back, or something in that sort. Some women get so angry to the point where they will hurt their child because the father don't want to be with them. And I feel
Right.
like that's like that's to me, I feel like that's something that's a weak person, because you're sitting here and you're abusing a child that can't defend themselves, or you're hurting a baby that can't speak to you and say, like, hey mom, I don't like that you just choked me or threw me to the wall or something like that. So it's like, to me, I feel like if a woman brings a child into this world and then she turns around and gets mad because the father don't want to be with her, and then she ends up hurting the kid, I feel like that's just weak. Like that's an evil person. That's a person that doesn't have a heart, because how could you sit there and actually harm your child just because the father don't want to be with you? Like, just get on your feet and do what you got to do for your baby, because at the end of the day, you all your baby got. Regardless, you might have your mom, you might have your sister, you might have your brother, but when you lay down at night, you all you got is your baby. All your baby got is you. So it's like, why would you sit there and put your child in harm's way, knowing that it's going to lead to something and that's a choice. Here we go, that goes back to what you were speaking on when you first even started. Choices and consequences. It's your choice to either harm that child or be a mother and take care of that child without the
Right.
father not wanting to be with you. But then if you sit there and you harm your child, here comes that consequence. Now you probably going to jail. You probably going to be having CPS on your back, probably going to be having to deal with a lot of different things. And now you're in a situation where you can't get out of it because you harmed your child. So now your consequence has popped up from the choice that you decided to make, all because of the way that you're
Of the way that Right. Your audio is going in and out for some reason.
you did what the last part that you heard me say.
That just the last part went out, about the consequences.
Basically,
So
saying if a woman has a child and the father doesn't want to be with her, and she turns around and she harms the child, that's a choice. So when she ends up harming her child and then CPS and the cops and all that gets involved, that's your consequence.
correct.
There's no
So
reason for you to sit there and try to harm your child knowing that your child cannot defend themselves. There's no way
right,
a baby can't fight you back. A 2 year
right,
old can't fight back. A 6 year old can't fight back. They can't let you know, like, mom, no, you hurting me. Like, why you choking me? Why'd you just throw me into the wall? Like, why'd you just do this and that or something? I was actually watching this YouTube show, and the mom was going, she went through postpartum and she ended up killing her baby. Like, she stabbed the baby over 10 times, cut the baby head off, she just went crazy. So so that was her choice to kill her baby. So when she ended up getting arrested for it 2 months later, they ended up sending her to prison for it. So that there goes her consequence, because you made a choice to kill your child, and now you're sitting in jail, and that's your consequence.
right. Miss Donette, so what is your take on this?
She's gonna come over here and talk.
Okay.
Oh wow. First off, I'm really proud of my daughter for being 28 years old and not having any kids and using her mind the correct way before, bringing a baby into the world. Her herself as a parent. I'm sure next week when she gets to approach the topic of what she wants, which is mental health, with her dealing with her own mental health issues, it kind of makes me proud of her to see her prioritizing, like setting the difference aside. There's girls out here nowadays that's having babies just to make sure that they hold on to a man, or to make sure that they can have extra money with the state on a check, or whatever. It's never, women don't, in my opinion, some women don't think about, why are you having this kid? Are you having this kid because you can afford it? Like, especially if you can't. Nowadays, I don't know who can afford to just lay up and have a baby. A baby ain't cheap. That's not something, you just can't say, oh, I want to have a kid. So I commend her on waiting, first off.
Choice.
And that's her choice, so that she doesn't have to face different type of consequences along the line. I really think people just do things for the wrong reasons at times. Like, and not to put nobody out there in my business, but I'm 53 years old, and I've really made a choice, my choice, to be celibate because it's best for me. I don't want to. I tell my daughter, like, that's a touchy thing because some women don't use their body for the right purposes, and I'm not going to allow my choice to be celibate as a consequence for, I might sleep with the wrong person. Mm-hmm. Like, I might give up my years of celibacy to somebody who I might actually care about, and he turned out to be abusive. So now I have a choice. Now I'm stuck with being with somebody who only wants to be with me because he wants to abuse me, or whatever the case may be. So life really is choices. So I don't know. I think the best thing we can do in this world is to choose to love ourselves first before you get to thinking, oh, I want to go love John because John's driving a Benz, and Ralph only had a Honda.
Your phone went off.
Definitely the wrong way for people to, place themselves as important. Nowadays, teenagers really make a lot of bad choices, and not even just teenagers. I've seen women my age make some choices that to this day they regret, or people do things for the wrong reasons, bad choices, and you get stuck trying to fix it. I know a friend of mine who went and married somebody, had a whole relationship, went and married somebody because he was told that, you marry me, I can help you get some money and it'll help you do better. He chose to walk down that path, married her. Now he's stuck married to her, in prison, and she won't give him a divorce. So that's his consequences for being stupid, making the wrong choice.
Right. Well, let me say this in addition to what both you and your daughter said. Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
I can't hear you.
Can you hear me?
I hear you now on mine.
Okay. Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
You can hear me?
No.
No?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you clear.
Okay, we're gonna just talk off her sound went out. So
I don't know why. Should I leave and then come back?
I can hear you.
He said you can hear Sierra?
Yeah.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. What I want to do is piggyback off what both you and your daughter said. First and foremost, I would like to commend you with considering, all the hardships that face Black people in America. all the stereotypes that we have to deal with, both black men and black women. You know, for a woman your age to say, I make this choice because I don't want to deal with those consequences, that is commendable. Because women twice your age don't do that. I know women today that's just jumping, yeah, just jumping from bed to bed to bed to bed because they feel, hey, this is the thing to do. Everybody else is doing it, so I'm gonna do it too. So, with that being said, is hey, keep following your dreams. I wish you the very best. And when you do decide to make that choice to have a child and bring a child into this world, you're making the best choice because the consequences that follow will all be good.
Nah,
Okay?
thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah. So you know, let's kind of extend this. You know, when you're talking about relationships, right? And let me see, I'm not just talking about being in a relationship. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Yes.
You can hear me?
Uh-huh.
Yes.
Say something.
We here.
Can you hear me?
You.
You can't hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay.
So
Okay.
people, I was just telling a friend of mine this at work today. People, when you're in relationships, we're talking about all kinds of relationships, family relationships, you know, intimate relationships. People do things and they do things for various reasons, okay? And the mindset of most people today is they do something and then they try to dictate what the consequences would be based on the choices that they made. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Give you an example. If I know you don't like me to hit you on your behind, okay? Because we're not in that type of relationship, but every time I see you, you know, I boom, smack you on your butt. And you done
Right.
told me several times, don't do that, Vermont. And I do it, and you call off and smack me in my mouth. And I said, okay, what you hit me for? Now in my mind, I'm trying to dictate the consequences that follow from the choice that I made based on you giving me advance notice that this wasn't appreciated and that it wasn't accepted.
Right.
So with that being said, people do this all the time. You know, it's like they create situations within a relationship, and then the consequences that follow, they try to dictate and say, well, a real man wouldn't have did this or a woman wouldn't have did that. But now I can't tell you what a real woman is if I've never been a woman.
Right.
You as a woman can't tell me what a real man is if you're not standing up taking the lead.
Right.
You know, I think society has conditioned us to believe that we can predicate and pretty much dictate what the outcome of the choices that we make, and we can't. You know, plain and simple. You know, because here's an example. I was in a marriage, okay, and I'm gonna use me for example. I went into my marriage committed. I loved my wife. And I wanted to build a family because you know we have so many people that say they're happy alone. They love the single life. I'm telling you, single life is not what it's all made up out to be. Yeah, if you're going to be a whole, and I'm talking about both males and females, and just mess around and do whatever you want to do because you didn't raise your kids, then by all means do what you do. That's not my choice in life. But anyhow, back to my point. When this social media, for one, I'm gonna use this as an example, but it's the choices that we make. My particular wife at this time chose to engage in social media because of the hype, all the men in her inbox. Okay, she never thought of the consequences that would follow once I became aware. Okay, so when the consequences came, when that
She just wants you to know she's trying to fix her sound. She's gonna allow me to join back in.
Okay. Once the hammer fell, now she tried to dictate what the consequences were. you can't dictate what the consequences is because now I feel betrayed. So I make the choice of what the consequences are, whether you agree
Right.
with them or not. And this is oftentimes what happened in a lot of relationships. Even with women, they go out and they become promiscuous with other men. I personally don't believe women and men can be friends. And I'm gonna tell you why. Okay. The other day I was on doing some research on a podcast, and the guy the guy fit in something. She went out again. Yeah, she just went out again. They had these two twins on, right? Beautiful girls. And he was asking her, he said, do you think your best friend, who's a male, wants to have sex with you? And she said no, which commonly most women say that. No. Okay. And so he said, okay, call him on the phone. And he called him on the phone, and they staged this, right? Just to prove a point. Okay. She told the guy, hey, just broke up with my guy. I'm sad. I need somebody to talk to. I need you to hold me, blah, blah, blah. And he was like, huh? He was kind of like, he acted like he was caught off guard. But then as the dialogue continued, she was like, well, I need you to come over here. He was like, okay, I'll come over there and talk to you. And she was like, no, I need you to come over here. And he was like, to do what? And she said, you know. And he said, are you sure? And she said, yeah, I'm sure. He said, okay, I'm on my way. To prove a point, men are claimed to be friends. Now, I'm not saying this is 99%, 100% across the board. Oftentimes, women are friends with men. What happens is, let me put these comments up here. What happens is the man is just abiding his time for that opportunity. We all become weak. We all become vulnerable, both men and women. So people, these are called predators under the guise of friends. They're just waiting for that moment. It can be 10 years down the road, and they're going to come in, and the first opportunity they get, hey, that's what they've been waiting for. This is my prize for waiting all these years. You know, so who is this? I don't want to offer promotion for the channel views. I don't know who this is, so I'm gonna take this off. Anyhow, and the point that they made was so valid, I couldn't do nothing but laugh. Because I said, I don't have women friends like that. You know, where I'm gonna just sleep in the bed. You know, you hear stories, oh, me and my female friend, we take showers together, not me. You're not gonna be naked, you know, in the shower with me, water running over us, and you know, I'm not being a man. So, you know, I think people that live in this fallacy and create these dialogues, that they have these relationships and they're just platonic and support mechanisms, I think it's all an illusion. I really do. Because as soon as that choice is made, and I think some rapper made this song, Lil Jon and what's the other guy's name? Usher. When they made that song, what is it called? Something about friends. And he said, he was telling the woman, he said, make sure you're sure before you cross the line. You know the song I'm talking about? I can't hear you.
I said, yeah, it's called Same Girl.
Yeah. So you know, I'm talking about there's always a consequence behind every choice that we make in life. And you know, people again, they want to try to dictate what the consequences are when they know the choices that they're making are not conducive to their well-being. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
You know, so I don't know. It's like, you know, over the course of years, I'm 61 years old. I've made a lot of bad choices and never entertained.
You're 61?
Yeah, I'm 61 years old.
51. Oh my God, that's amazing.
Thank you.
That's a, you're
Um,
welcome.
I never even entertained the thought of what the consequences was going to be. But all my life, I've always been man enough to accept and take accountability for the choices that I made. Because whether the consequences were good or bad, I dealt with them, you know.
Right.
And people today in these relationships, because I feel like this, I sit back and I watch and I analyze a lot of things, and particularly this relationship thing. And people are not dealing in the realms of reality. You know, they talk like they are, you know, hey, I got my stuff together, I know what I'm doing, but who a friend of mine made this point today, and it was so funny because I've been thinking about it, but I could never express it. He said, man, these women talking about they want to be alone. Who wants to grow old with their kids by themselves? That makes a lot of sense. You know, I'm talking about we all love our kids, but it comes a point in time when you know it's time to separate and for you to invest in that person that's going to be there for you as you get older. You know? And a lot of times we don't do that because we feel that we have that void, so we either try to fill it with our children or we try to fill it with pets. Because I know a lot of women that won't be in relationships, but they'll kind of sleep around, but they all have animals. And I'm not suggesting by any means that these women are having sex with pets. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is I don't think no person really wants to be alone. I really
Um,
don't. Go ahead, Donna.
you, you hear this kind of okay. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
It's a little echoey because I guess we're probably kind of close in proximity. But the topic that you're talking about is like literally right on my heart because um, I'm at a time in my life where I've literally been living with my kids for like the last, mm, I want to say 4 or 5 years. Um, and literally it's a situation where you 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 can't be in a relationship because you don't want to bring a man into your kid's house, or you know you don't want to feel like you're disrespecting them by even having someone like come over and sit down and talk to you. So your life is basically on hold because you only work and make sure that you're with your kids. So when you said who wants to grow old and alone, that kind of like hit home because that's kind of where I am right now in my life because there's no one in my life but my kids, and
Right.
it's and I kind of haven't really stepped out into relationships off of fear because I never know what I'm gonna get nowadays. Nowadays you get men that you got to wonder if he's cheating on you with a man or a woman.
Right.
Then you get men who might be married and lying about that, or somebody who's just not on the same line of communication that I'm on. Like I'm
Right.
not. I don't want to just get in a relationship and be considered to be someone's bed buddy. You know, I want to be. I want to be the the girl from back in the day where you guys go on a couple dates before you think about trying to have sex with me. But it's like lately, every time I go out with somebody, even for a drink, it's like as soon as I have the drink, they ready to take my clothes off, and then they get mad and tell me I don't want to be around you because, well, I can't be around you anymore because you make my sexual nature rise. I didn't, that's kind of not where I wanted to go with the relationship. So
Well, let me say this to
I
you.
that
Yeah,
that's
I wanted to say something too. I'm trying to. I was gonna say like when you said the whole part about like basically the mom or parents like going their separate ways from their kids. I feel like me and my mom like we was homeless for like almost like 2.5 years. We was going place to place. We was getting put out. We was paying money to family members, and they was still treating us like we wasn't their family, putting us out, locking us out. We sitting outside for hours, or we packing our clothes in the car because now somebody then said something crazy to us. We feeling uncomfortable. We want to leave, so we probably sleeping in the car or something like that. So we ended up getting an apartment, and we got a 2-bedroom apartment. Me and my boyfriend, and him been like almost 6 years. It'll be 6 years, 2004, on my birthday next year. But I feel like I don't want my mom. I like the fact that my mom lives with me. You know, like I like the fact that I can wake up and go look and see that she's in, or know that she got up and went to work because she texted me and told me like, hey, I'm at work, da da da, this and that, or something like that. Like that's I don't have friends out here who's really like losing their moms. Like their parents are really like passing away, like randomly just leaving, and they sitting there losing their mind. They don't know what to do with their mom. So it's like I, for a minute, I used to like get really mad at my mom, and we used to argue like really bad. But I had to like tell myself, I had to read, I had to give, like check myself. I had to let myself know. I had to. You can't do that. Like you got to be more child of to be somebody in the streets that's arguing with her. You got to be somebody that's protecting her. That's me. I'm very protective of my mom. Like I don't care if she's here and not, I don't care about that. As long as she's here and she's okay and she's eating healthy and she's sleeping and she's showering and she's doing all, I'm fine with that. She's okay. I know that she's not somewhere trying to take a shower and it's not happening, or she's sleeping outside, or she's sleeping in. I like the fact to know that I was able to not only make sure that I had somewhere to lay my head, but my mom did. And to me, I feel like 8 years old, like that's something that I don't think anybody else. I don't think anybody else would have ever cared. Oh, it's me and my boyfriend's apartment. Let me not move my mom in. I don't know what he's gonna say. Like, no, my mom's coming with me. That's what happened, and that's what's gonna remain to happen until I know for a fact that at that point where she can, go do her like.
Let me say this, okay? I want to say something to you first, and then I want to say something that your mom address something that your mom said, right? Um, Most of my life, I've been an encourager. I've made bad choices, and there have been dire consequences behind those choices. But to clarify what I meant when I said what I said is simply this: I'm not saying what you're displaying is a family bond, okay? A mother and a child pulling your resources together because of some bad experience you've had in life. Okay, I commend that because a lot of people don't do that, right? To you, young lady, what I'm saying to you is, I'm not saying that you shouldn't help your mother. That's the commendable thing for you to do because a lot of people out here, like you said, family are only family by title.
Yeah.
They don't care. Family don't care no more. If you're not a part of their little cliques, they'll kick you to the curb. You can be sleeping outside. They won't even invite you in for dinner. So I understand all that. And I still encourage you to support your mom and keep her there in your embrace as long as you can. Okay. With you, Donette.
Yes.
When it comes to men, okay, I'm telling you from a man. I've been knowing you most of my life. Okay. These type of men that you're meeting, okay, before you even get to that point, start having these conversations with these guys. See, you have a daughter that's so bright, invite them over so they can meet your daughter. Because usually the children will be the one to bring out the real in these guys. Okay? I'm not saying to be disrespectful, but you want to know. You have to start asking these questions. Okay, so what are your plans for me in the next 6 months if I don't sleep with you? Huh? Because I'm not looking for a bed buddy. This is long term. I live here with my daughter. I'm comfortable. I'm not just uproot myself Change what we got going here to move in with you so you can become abusive. If I don't do this, I don't do it. You have to dialogue about all these things because you can't just assume that this man is going to know what you're thinking based on your feelings. And if he can't talk to you and tell you the things that you're really trying to hear, and even if he tell you a lot of the things that you're trying to hear, question it. You have that right as a woman because you deserve love just like anybody else do. You're not an object. You're not a toy. You're not a pet. Okay? So if a man can't treat you as a queen and treat you with respect and respect your wishes, then you don't need to be with him. It's just that simple. And you're not going to die alone because sooner or later, that commercial that used to come on Yale, on the Yale jewelry commercial, keep your heart open. Love will find a way in. I truly believe that from the bottom of my heart. You have to put yourself in position. You already know what you don't want. Now you have to put yourself in position to get what you want. Okay. Does that make sense? Yeah. And if a guy is not going to give you and assure you, because words are just a sound. That's all they are. I don't care how good they sound. If there's no actions, my grandmother always said, if you want to know a person's true character, listen to their words and watch the actions that follow.
Yep. Okay.
You see what I'm saying?
Yes.
And I'm gonna say, I'm gonna use this word, and I don't like using this word. If a nigga ain't on point,
you gotta go.
Okay?
I know
I'm telling you that out of love.
I know.
And if you ever meet some guy before you make that decision, call me. P, I want you to meet this guy. I'll come over there and ask him a few questions, and I'll tell you, get this nigga up out here.
Not for real.
I know you will.
You know what I'm saying? He talking, he got that talk, but I know he ain't willing to walk that talk.
Exactly.
I've been in the streets. You know, I grew up out there.
I know.
You know, we all come from the same background. Life just pulls us in different directions. But it's funny how God brings us back together. You know,
I know it's crazy.
So I encourage y'all and any other person that's here on the podcast listening. I love you, Black women. I love you even more so when you're respectful, when you're humble, when you use intelligence, when you can articulate your feeling towards Black men, not being combative, not being disrespectful, not being insulting, not being degrading, not being condescending. I love you to death. Yes. You know what I'm saying? You, because I know you, and I'm gonna put this out here. You know, you said some things to me, you know, in reference to your daughter, but she just admitted it on live podcast that y'all bumped heads, and she had to grow from that. That's maturity. That's a choice because she didn't want to live with the consequences that follow that. So many of our kids hurt us. They don't realize the things that they take us through. I'm going through some things right now myself with one of my child. But you know what? I'm not going to never stop loving you.
Never.
Despite what you and your daughter went through, you weathered the storm. Now you see how she stepped up to that next level and say, you know what, Mom? It's time for us to get along. We're adults. It's not, you're going to always be mom, but you have to have that balance. Two adults, let's talk. Let's relate. Let's communicate. Let's understand each other's feelings, each other's position. You know, and as long as you maintain that, you're going to always have that contentment in your heart for each other. You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, when nobody else cares, she's going to care. You know, family is, like I said, is a title. That old analogy, blood is thicker than water, BS. It ain't, you know, but you know, keep your head up. You know, it's somebody out here for you, because what you have to always remember is this. God has placed something in you that nobody else in this world can bring. Nobody. Not your daughter, not your mom, not your sister, your auntie, your son, nobody. And that special quality that you possess, somebody will embrace that and love you like you've never been loved in your life. But when it comes, you better embrace it. Push your hurt and pain aside and say, you know what, Lord, this is what I've been praying for. This is what you gave me. And I don't care. He don't have to be black. I know we're talking about black men and black women. But if a Chinese man, an Arab man, or Ethiopian man, it doesn't matter. If he wants to love you, then you love him and you embrace that. And don't never let anybody else define what your work in life is. Never. You've been through more stuff and survived more stuff than people are even going to ever experience in their life. You're a beautiful woman. You got a beautiful heart. And if a man can't respect that, push him aside. And you tell him, man, get out my way. I'm moving forward in life. That anchor that I had on me that was holding me back from my dreams and my aspirations, I chopped it off. If you can't walk with me, you got to walk behind me. Remember that. Don't never let no man define your worth. He's going to treat you like a woman with respect. He's going to treat you like a queen. He's going to cater to you. If he don't get no pudding. Ain't no dessert being served in this house, partner. None. Remember that, boo. Remember that.
I will.
And if you ever need any words of encouragement, you got my number. I don't care. I have that job where I can answer my phone 24 hours. I don't have no bosses to tell me I can't be on my phone. If you're on your phone, I'm going to be on mine. Especially if my family and friends call. You know what I'm saying? Start getting out. Go out with your daughter. There's so many places you can go. Everybody say church. If church was the answer to all our prayers, everybody would be in church. You might find love in McDonald's, 7-Eleven, Smith's Food King, Gary's Nugget. You know what I'm saying? So don't put these blinders on you with life because society has told you this is where you have to go. Don't go searching for love, let it find you. But when it does, when it knocks, swing that door wide open like the Nasty Boys. Let it on in.
Okay.
And remember, you'll sit back one night, hugged up with that man, and you say, you know what? My brother told me this was going to happen. All I have to do is believe. Start being around people that's going to encourage you to see your true worth, not people that's going to discourage you when they know you're vulnerable. You see what I'm saying? Those are not family and friends. If a person can't encourage you and say, you know what, sister, come on. I know you're tired. Let me help you along until you get your strength back. I'm going to walk with you until you can stand upright again. Straighten your back up. Smile. Have that confidence. It's in you. I know it's in you. And you let these guys know. Don't come up with that nonsense. Because I ain't buying no vacuum cleaners today. Okay? If you ain't bringing love and harmony, you can keep that drama and contentment somewhere else. And that's how you have to always think. Every day you get up, you ask God, is today my day? Is today my day? You're going to be all right. And you, young lady, I can't even find the words to describe the respect that I have for you. Because the things that you conveyed today on this show, and I'll go back and look at this show again, I've never heard from a woman in my life at your age. And even women that's twice your age. I commend you. I really do.
Thank you.
Because you are You have the mindset and perspective that most women should embrace, particularly Black women. And see, I don't know what your goals in life are, but I do know this. If you keep thinking the way you thinking, there's nothing you can't reach in life or obtain. Because success is what you make it. And if you look for it in the right places, you're going to grab it and ride it, just like a horse in the Kentucky Derby. And you'll sit back one day as you get older and you say, you know what? I've been through a lot. I made a lot of bad choices, a lot of dire consequences that follow. But because I stayed focused and I was true to me, that's what most people are not. They're not true to themselves. Most people in the world today are living for somebody else, based on somebody else's opinion. Nobody's opinion should ever be able to define who you are and what your aspirations in life are.
Yeah, because they're not
So,
walking
homie, nobody. You know, people that love you push you forward. People that don't love or admire you hold you back. Always remember that. I've been wearing baby oil on me for years. I just shake them off because they can't hold on. Hate them. That's in your DNA. I understand that you're going to hate. I know you're going to slander. I know you're going to try to throw obstacles before me. See, but I believe, and I'm not a very religious person, I'm a very spiritual person. And I believe in my heart that anything that man throws before me, if I don't have the knowledge, God will open my eyes. If I don't have the strength, he'll help me go over it or around it. And I've lived this life. I understand this life, and I believe in living and let live. If people want to walk with you, they're going to get by your side. Martin Luther King was a prime example. I don't care how much he preached. He preached about life, choices and consequences, and people flocked with him. You see what I'm saying? He didn't go knocking on doors. When he came to a city, they came. You know why? Because they wanted to be a part of what he was. And as long as you're doing something in life, people will be a part of it. If they don't, move them out the way. Choices and consequences. You know what I'm saying? You got a beautiful mom. Keep loving, keep supporting. Let the world hate on you. Because as long as you got her back, you can overcome anything.
Yep.
You see what I'm saying? Because that apartment right there that you're living in is a prime example. You didn't give up when your family pushed you out. Okay? You held on to that choice. Mom, we're gonna keep going. We're gonna keep going. We're gonna keep going. I don't care. It's me and you against the world. Now look, some of those same people may be on the reverse road now. They may be outside. They may be sleeping on somebody's couch. Now you have that peace because of the choice that you made. Now you can come home to your own. You ain't got to worry about nobody pushing you out, acting all funny and shady towards you. I know. I've been in that situation. You think your family love you, and then you come in the house, they acting funny, they cook, they don't save you food. I know about all that. Been there, done that. You know, love your mom while she's in your life.
Yeah.
Love her and support her. You know, and God's gonna bless you tremendously. Please believe that. You know, so yeah, you know, like I said, you're a beautiful lady. You know, your perspectives on life. Got to have you this Thursday. We're going to talk about what you wanted to talk about, not next Thursday like your mom came. This Thursday, okay? And I'm gonna kind of turn the show over to you. I'll interject here and there, but I'm gonna let you do your thing.
Okay.
And I would like to have you on the panel because we have a panel. Okay, I had to kind of revamp things, and I would be honored if you would be on the panel to get that young perspective, because you're on point. You're on point. And the more people that see you, they're going to start chiming in. They're going to start commenting. They're going to want to know who you are. This is not a dating site. And I did hear you say you got a boyfriend. So we're going to make that very clear that you're in a monogamous relationship. That way, these guys that sit back watching don't think that you're available for them to be making comments to date you. Okay?
Right. Okay.
You know, but we're going to try to get your message out there from your perspective. And, God. Okay, man, you got me. But anyhow, we're going to bring this to a close unless y'all have something else you want to say. And it's truly been a pleasure to have you on, Donette. You too, young lady.
Thank you.
I'm so awed by your intellect. You know, it's like if we had 1 million women like you in this world, and you couldn't even imagine how far we would progress as a culture, as a people. If women thought like you, your dude is lucky.
No, I
Hey.
just want to say, like, you know, to anybody that's watching, like, you know, just, I mean, you're not the only, if you are dealing with like some type of mental depression or anxiety attacks or anything in that sort, anything that's affecting you in your life mentally, physically, financially, or anything in that sort, just always pray. Like, just always know that you can't talk to nobody, or you feel like you have nobody to talk to, like, you can always talk to God regardless, because it don't matter how you talk to him, because at the end of the day, he knows who you are. Like, he knows how you talk, he knows how you react to certain things. Like, he knows what's going to happen before it even happens. So I feel like if you are having a bad day, or you feel, you wake up and you just be like, dang, I feel like today's gonna be a bad day, just at least try to make it to where it's a good day and just pray. Always pray, no matter what. I used to always like have my bad days where I would just be in my room all day, didn't want to talk to anybody, just in the dark, staying to myself, because I felt as if I didn't have nobody to talk to. But then I learned, like, you can always talk to God. And every time I would always like express my feelings or just go to him, like, you know, hey Lord, I'm just want to say thank you for waking me up today, or thank you for waking up my family, or just I'm having a bad day, like, you know, just kind of give me a little bit more strength to make my day a little better. It would always, like, 5 or 10 minutes later, I would just feel like, you know, that pressure that was on me would be just gone, because I felt as if I was doing what was needed, what was needed to be done at that moment. Like, I feel like sometimes when I be laying in my bed and it's 3, 4 in the morning, and I'm like, dang, I can't go to sleep. And then I'm like, well, maybe that's because God want me to talk to him. So then I end up praying, and then I'll go to sleep, and then I'll wake up the next day like God is wanting me to come talk to him for a second. He didn't allow me to go to sleep, basically. So I just feel like if there's anybody out there who just, you know, having a bad day or having bad moments, or you feeling down, or you feeling as if just any type of negative feelings that you're feeling, just pray about it. Anything. It could be you don't have the money for your tire to get fixed. Pray about it, and I guarantee in the next 2 days he gonna help you figure out a way to get that tire fixed. So just stay, you know, positive, pray a lot, and just, you know, always show love to those that you feel need to show love. Like, if you walk inside of a store and you feel as if the homeless man that just asked you for 50 cents, if you feel as if, yeah, like God is putting that on your heart to give it to him, then give it to him. You ain't gotta always be like, I don't have nothing for you. Get out of my face. Go to the job. Like, you don't have to be mean all the time, because you never know. You might be able to walk up to somebody and be like, hey, how you doing? And you asking them, hey, how you doing, can make them feel better, because you actually checking on them, basically. I used to work at the gas station, and there was somebody that came in, and he was having a real bad day, he said. And I sat there and I was just asking him, I'm like, hey, you know, hello, how you doing? And he looked at me and he was like, Like, dang, like, that kind of made my day. And I'm like, why? Like, all I did was ask you how you was doing. And he said, because it's been years since anybody has ever asked him, how are you doing? How are you feeling? Are you okay? Like, so he said that really, like, made him feel like, dang, I'm better off to have a good day now. Like, I was able to express that nobody told me. Nobody has asked me that in years. And I'm like, yeah, I'm glad I'm able to help you to make your day. And it was that's what it was. But I just feel like just stay prayed up. That's it. I always know that if you can't talk to nobody, talk to God. He got you at all times, no matter what.
Ms. Donette, words in
Yes.
closing?
Why are you laughing?
I'm first off, I want to tell my daughter, I'm really proud of her. I've always told her that she would be a voice to other people one day. And I'm proud of her of opening up as much as she did to allow herself to be more transparent to people who are probably struggling with things you know, that she's, laid out there herself that she struggles with. Um, as a parent, that makes me very proud of her, especially as a single Black woman. I raised her. I raised all three of my kids by myself. There, no child support. No 5 year drop off of gifts. We never got none of that. Everything came single handedly for me, and for me to know that a lot of her morals and the way she thinks is based off the way that I raised her. It lets me know that I did something right. No matter how I'm judged and looked at, I did something right. You even have a relationship with my son based off of some past that you and him shared. And that alone, it bridges gaps. It lets me know that all them years that I met you, I never thought that all those years would be all those years to bring us to where we are now. And for me to know that I have a brother that I can call on when, I need that brotherly love, it just makes me know that, I appreciate you and I love you for that. And now that my daughter knows that she has an uncle, because we don't have that. Our family is, so I thank you, and I'm very, very, very thankful for you today.
Well,
Me too.
let me say,
Thank you.
let me say this in closing. Before I get to my closing statement, you're always welcome at my home. Anything I can do to ever help you, not just, verbally, just call on me. If I can do it, I'm there for you. Let me say this in closing. I want to first and foremost thank both my lovely guests, their words of inspiration. This show has truly touched my heart tonight, and I look forward to having you on again because your words can be an encouragement to a lot of people. Now, a lot of people don't chime into the show when we're actually live. They go back and read it off YouTube, Twitter, and stuff like that, and then they start hitting me all the comments. As soon as we grow a little bit more, I'll probably put a moderator in place so we can change the settings. So right now, I'm putting the text on the screen, but let me say this to all Black women. Please be encouraged that despite all the things that has been said about Black men, some of the experience you've had with Black men, or myself, or any other Black man similar to me, there are still good Black men out here in the world. There's Black men that want to treat you like queens. There's Black men that want to protect you and provide for you if given that opportunity. It's not all about the battles anymore. We should be past that point in our life. It should be about tranquility and harmony between Black men and Black women. This podcast will not, and I repeat, will not bridge the gap between all Black men and Black women, because a lot of people have that perspective that
Yes.
this is how I am, I'm not going to change. You cannot grow if you choose not to change. It's just that simple. People, when they say, well, I'm old and I'm set in my ways, well, all you basically saying is you're dumb and unwilling to compromise. That's basically what you're saying. So with that being said, all you black women that's listening, please be encouraged. There's good men, but when you find a man or a man finds you, then embrace that man. If God places it on your heart that this is the man, then try it. Don't fight him. Don't rebel against him, because if that's what you truly desire, that's what God has put in your path, then embrace it. With that being said, I want to thank everybody for tuning in tonight. God bless you. Please be safe out there. Join us again Thursday with both these young ladies. We're going to be talking about mental health, family and relations. She's going to host this show, and then I'm just going to support her. Okay? So with that being said, I love you both. Please take care.
Love you.
Love you
You got
too.
my number.
See you
All right.
Thank you.
Y'all take
Love
care.
you.
Everybody have a blessed night.
Good night. You guys be blessed. Have a good one.